With additive and reductive monoprinting is that you need a plate to work onto. You can use lots of different things. You can use metal plates, so you could use a nice shiny zinc plate, copper, steel, litho plate, which is aluminium. You can use vat form plastic, so this is vat form plastic. You might have seen it used in college or on the second floor. It's heated up and then a vacuum sucks it down and shapes it around a mould, but it's great for dry point and for using as monoprinting plates as well. Acetate, anything that you can apply ink to and then wipe off quite easily. First off, I'm just going to give it a little clean. Have we got a spray bottle around with an orange handle? And if someone could pass me that with some, I've got a rack here actually. That'd be great. So when you get your plates, these have been used by other people and cleaned up with vegetable oil, which is how we clean the oil-based ink off. You remember from your health and safety induction. We try and use as little solvents in here as we can, so we do a lot of our cleaning with vegetable oil, so they'll be really oily. We don't want that when we're applying oil-based ink, so we're just using a little bit of washing up liquid and water to give those a clean. So hand care is really important. Please wear your gloves, especially when you're using the Zest-it, which is a bit of an alternative to. So I'm just going to go over to one of these colour stations. When you come down and do your own monoprinting, you know, you're free to go wild with colours and different size rollers and things. Because of the logistics of the workshop, there's quite a few of you in here today. We're just going to stick to the rollers that are at each colour station. If you could keep them to their individual colour, that would be great. So I'm going to absolutely overload my plates with different techniques now, because I want to show you all the techniques, but don't feel like you have to do that when you're producing your own prints. You could keep it quite minimal, quite abstract, or you could, you know, really go wild. It's up to you. So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques. So additive monoprinting, that is literally as it sounds. You're adding ink to the plate, and that could be with numerous different things. You could add ink with a roller. So this is lithography ink, okay? This is what you're going to be using for monoprinting and other relief processes like lino or woodcut. Okay, so you just spread a little bit off the surface of the ink onto the table. Make sure your table's nice and clean. You don't want it to be really oily, otherwise the ink won't stick properly and it'll affect the coverage of ink. Imagine that's not there. We've just put a little bit of ink at the top in a reservoir. And then we're going to take our roller and kick the ink down. The reason why I'm lifting the roller after every drag is because we want the ink to be evenly distributed around the roller. If we were to just roll it back and forth, the ink will only go on the bottom of the roller. Okay, so I'm just going to lift it up, kick the ink down, left and right, and that kind of smooth hissing sound is what you're wanting to achieve. Too much ink and it'll be quite a high-pitched kind of ripping sound, which is not what you want to achieve. You want a nice even layer of ink on there. That kind of, I think someone described it as a bit of a Velcro sound in the last workshop. Okay, so adding ink, you can literally roll ink onto your plate. You can, you know, be quite abstract with it. You can add more ink in different areas if you want to. when you're not using the rollers, if you just keep them sat up on their little legs, you can see how things start to get a bit messy. It's quite nice. And then you can also apply ink with paintbrushes as well. If you really wanted to be quite literal, you could literally paint, you know, a landscape on there, you know, whatever you want. Literally produce a painting onto the plate. If you want to paint with the ink, you just need to loosen it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit on there. You can see how clean these paintbrushes are. So if you loosen down the ink, you know, you can, you know, be quite painterly with it. Produce more like painterly marks. You can add ink with a rag. You can do rag work. You know, you can think of other ways to apply ink. You can use cotton buds. Okay, so adding ink, what else could we do? You can use pieces of cotton if you wanted to. Got some cotton here. So to add ink using a piece of cotton, you could, if you wanted to, just literally ink it up. It's another way of adding a bit of colour in there. Okay, so there's lots of different ways of adding ink. The other technique that you can use as well in conjunction with that, which kind of happens naturally anyway when you're monoprinting, is reductive methods. So you've added ink and now you want to reduce the amount of ink on the plate to create marks. So, you know, you can use a cotton bud, you know, take ink away quite a haphazard way if you want. You can be more deliberate with a little cotton bud. You can use, the end of a paintbrush. You can use this part of a paintbrush and kind of smudge. These little delicate marks will pick up. You can use other things too in a reductive way by using stencils. You can use stencils in two ways. You can use them when you're applying ink. Okay, and then you can use them on the surface of the ink as well. Actually, I'm trying to think of all the things I want to show you. You can apply ink with little pieces of card as well if you want to. You can use pieces of card to take ink away. You can use talc as a resist. So this talc will prevent the plate from printing in that area. Or you can use bits of newsprint. These could be, very intricately cut with a craft knife. You could ask Costas to laser cut you a very intricate design, or it can just be, very haphazard stencils as well. This is quite nice as well, a bit of scrim. This produces quite a nice texture. You might think, oh my word, enough already, this is looking a bit too busy. But just to show you the different kind of techniques that you can do. Okay.
Those, they can go through. So
Yeah, they go through, yeah, that's fine. Quite a lot of black there. Oh, you know what I haven't shown? You can use a bit of solvent as well. This is actually a product called Zest It, instead of white spirit or terps. But if you want to drip a little bit on, be careful when you are using solvent, because always wear your gloves, but also your plate's quite wet, and if you use a huge amount of it, please just let it evaporate off the plate before you put it through the press, because if we don't, this is what happens. We get lovely marks. I mean, I'd like to scan that in and print it, but we just get a lot of marks on our blanket, so just let them evaporate off slightly. So we're going to print these now. So you can use any of the etching presses. For this workshop, we'll see how we get on. We'll just use this. But if we need to use that one, I'll set that one up as well. Unfortunately, this one's out of action. The Rochat are coming in on the 6th of December to fix it, so won't be long before that one's back in action again. Okay, so I wear my gloves. I should have just took them off, they're quite dirty, I'll get a new pair. I wear my gloves for when you're inking, and then I take them off to handle your paper. You don't want any inky marks around your paper.